Good morning and good afternoon. Happy New Year. Well, soon. It'll be a New Year soon. Happy New Year's Eve. We're here with some wacky and weird news, the last wacky and weird news you will be hearing for 2025. So there's going to be a whole new year of weird and wacky things happening every week. I hope you're excited for that.
Not necessarily good things. Not necessarily good news.
No, they're definitely. I mean, a lot of my wacky news is usually politicians politicizing and thinking that's normal. This is the first and only international game show before coffee, a father and daughter podcast where we look up our stories just before we've started. We just got caffeine in our bodies and we're learning to read and speak live on stream. Let's roll that segue, Will. But first, let's get into today's headlines. Today on Wacky and Weird Wednesday. Chaos. Before New Year's Eve, Eurostar delays continue. Thousands of passengers are stranded for hours in the Channel Tunnel. And speaking of trains, Simon on the Independent shares great deals for the Great British Rail Sale. That's right, everyone's getting railed.
And we have some really bad news for some thrill seekers in this planet, as a shark attack victim in Northern California is identified, and rescuers go looking for one missing hiker and find 3 bodies.
The French government wants to ban social media for those under 15 from the start of 26th school year. And Bulgaria is set to adopt the euro 20 years after they joined the European Union.
And in weirder news, hundreds of Victorian shoes wash up in Ogmore Beach. That's right, they're hundreds of years old, or at least 200 years old, maybe. And I'm sorry. And if you've never won a major prize, there's a festival you can go to and it features a leg lamp.
Cecilia Jimenez, famed for the Monkey Christ mural, has died at 94. Let's remember her wacky restorative properties.
Oof. And it's No Interruptions Day, and it's also Make Up Your Mind Day. So if you're going shopping with somebody that just sit there and stares at stuff, and, well, don't interrupt them because it'll be rude. It is the last day of the year, December 31st, 2025, on Before Coffee. No Interruptions Day, so
The last day of the year of the, every year it feels like people are like, this year was the worst. This year was the worst. I want somebody to be like, this year was the best. Let's hope it's next year.
yeah.
BTS is having a comeback. That has to mean something.
Yeah, for all their new North Korean fans that are going to defect. They go, oh, there's music out of this side.
Really great music, and everyone's having fun over here. Let's hang out over here.
We always got to listen to Kim Jong-un play the tuba.
The tuba of all things.
That's not exactly fulfilling as
The tuba. Let's roll our segue wheel for my first stories here.
That's what he does when he walks. He plays a tuba when he walks.
Yeah, I know the joke. We've got accurate metaphor or simile for your first segue.
Oh shit, I got it right.
You always do.
Okay.
You don't have to write that much, though. This first story is coming from the Eurostar and the Channel Tunnel, which, whoops, people are actually trapped. All the Channel Tunnel is closed down and people are trapped where they are. Thousands of Eurostar passengers face further potential disruptions ahead of New Year's Eve after a power outage in the Channel Tunnel caused chaos yesterday on the 30th 30th of December, several services were canceled and some passengers were stranded on overnight trains for more than 6 hours, with the operator warning of last-minute delays and cancellations even as service gradually resumed, the BBC reports. This is on Digi24, a Romanian news service. As people tried to reach their destinations before New Year's Eve, some travelers said they spent more than 6 hours stuck on trains overnight due to additional delays. A man told the BBC he boarded at 19:01 for Paris, but at 3 he was still on the train, stuck at the tunnel entrance, so he missed a whole day in Paris. He said that the staff told him there was a 50% chance of getting to Paris and 50% chance of turning around and going back to London. It seems my New Year's plans are now in the hands of tunnel operators, said the 27-year-old. Oh, sorry. It seems my New Year's plans are now in the hands of the tunnel operators, said the 27-year-old Parisian. Eurostar announced that its plans to operate all services from Wednesday, but warned that there may still be delays and cancellations. The London to Paris flight, I don't know why they call it a flight, unless they mean also flights from the airport are canceled. I think they probably mean trains, but it translated it, because this is in Romanian, so it translated to English, and then translated it from, like, journey. The London to Paris journey scheduled for 6 a.m. has been cancelled. The problem with the overhead power system and the failure of Le Château train blocked all routes on yesterday, the December 30th, causing major disruptions for thousands of people trying to leave for New Year's Eve. All trains from London to Paris, Amsterdam, and Brussels have been cancelled. Some Eurostar and Le Château services resumed in the evening yesterday, but delays continued as only one of the tunnel's 2 rail lines was operational. Link, the company that operates the Channel Tunnel, is going to be paying a lot of fines, I think. A disruption of services. This is a protected right, at least in the EU, right? If you get delayed, if something gets delayed, they owe you money. Because they waste your time, especially these people waiting for 6 hours on a train, stuck in a tunnel. Like, they can't even get off and go somewhere. They're in a tunnel underwater. The company said that they would work to fix the power supply problem and continue throughout the night. Services was resumed today after the power supply problem in Manet Tunnel yesterday, and after other difficulties that arose overnight with the railway infrastructure. We intend to operate all journeys today, but due to knock-on effects, there may still be delays and possible last-minute cancellations. Please check the real-time updates on the status of your train on the journey status and timetable page, Eurostar said this morning on the 31st of December. Dennis van der Steen from the Netherlands was headed to Amsterdam to spend New Year's Eve with his family and friends. Instead, he said he spent 6 hours stuck on Eurostar train before it started moving again at around 3 a.m. We are stuck, he told the BBC. The man said the train had no electricity when it stopped and that some passengers were sleeping, while others were very worried. They were later told the train would continue its journey. I'm sure a lot of developing countries are not having any sympathies for these guys. A lot of developing countries still have very slow 8-hour train journeys in some cases. And they're used to sleeping on the train. Another passenger described a real avalanche of emotions, spending hours not knowing whether the train he was on would be able to cross the English Channel or return to London. His train finally arrived in Brussels. I'm glad I got home. I saw many families stranded, he added. Images of huge crowds and travelers stranded at London St. Pancras International Station flood social media after the power outage yesterday. A photo sent to the BBC by Eurostar train driver appears to show overhead electric cables scattered across the tracks. Somebody cut the cables or they broke. At the same time, cars crossing the Channel Tunnel caused traffic jams near Le Château Terminal in Folkestone. The Channel Tunnel is used by both Eurostar and Le Château trains that carry vehicles between the UK and France. Tim Brown, who was trying to return to the UK after spending Christmas in Germany, told PA News he was stuck in a car on Le Château train for more than 3 hours without access to food or water. They don't have food or water on the trains? That's weird. Eurostar at least has it. I've used Eurostar before. At least a dozen Eurostar services between Britain, France, Belgium, and the Netherlands were cancelled by lunchtime yesterday. The railroad operator apologized and stated the passengers can reschedule their trips for free or cancel their ticket to receive a refund or an electronic voucher. Eurostar urged customers... Oh, congratulations on your rank up, Omlin. And thank you for claiming second. On Tuesday, Eurostar urged customers to reschedule their journey for another day if possible, with free exchanges available. We also recommend that passengers do not show up at the station if their train had already been cancelled, because there's already enough people standing around on the railway. Where's my train? You need to give me my money back. I'm angry. So there's your wacky travel news for, the holiday season. Everyone loves being stranded on the holidays. Plane, trains, and automobile, classic right there.
That's a procrastination gets you. You want to be somewhere on a certain day, don't leave the day before or the day of. Get there 3 days before and beat the rush. But they procrastinated, and my metaphor is about procrastination. And you know what they say about procrastination. Oh wait, I didn't finish it. I'll get back and finish it later.
You're funny. You're so funny. Let me give you the Homer laugh. Those are for the really funny ones.
I was looking for. There used to be a club called the Procrastination Club, I think they were called. And what they did was they made predictions for last year. Right? they tell you stuff that already happened, but they don't do that anymore. I can't even find it. Does it not exist?
That sucks.
They make predictions.
Really funny though, yeah. I have another story about trains.
Right?
And this is a shorter story about some wacky tricks you can do in order to get some cheap rails on the Great British Rail Sale. This is from Amelia Neath on The Independent, coming from Simon Calder, who's a free travel expert. So he's giving his travel advice for getting cheap tickets, including to London. And tickets as low as £2, right? If anybody who lives in England and Scotland and Wales, and anyone who lives in the UK and Ireland probably knows this already, but if you don't know this, because you don't live there, rail there is very expensive, like super expensive, way too expensive for such a small island, right? It's not a big place. You can probably reach farther in Europe at the same price that you're spending on a British rail service. So these deals are really important for getting a good bang out of your. This doesn't work. Bang out of your buck is there has to be one for a quid. I don't know. I can't think of anything. A quick out of your quid. The price of almost 4 million train tickets will be slashed for a limited time as part of a government scheme in January. For the fourth year in a row, the UK's Department of Transport has launched the Great British Rail Sale, with the ministers promising huge discounts on over 3 million train tickets. The week-long sale, running from 6 to 12 January, will give passengers a chance to save more than 50% in advanced and off-peak tickets. Nearly all operators will be participating. So if you want to go to London this summer, buy your ticket next week. The discounted ticket can be used for travel between the 13th of January. Oh no, it's only until 13th to 25th of March. Never mind. Well, I guess you can still go to London in March. So from the 13th of January to the 25th of March, you can get discounted tickets for all travelers, including commuters, people on weekend getaways, and for half-term getaways. So if you already are traveling on the train for those months, you can get all your train journey tickets half off in advance. Top deals include £10 journeys from Portsmouth to Waterloo, with a £1.2 fare for Manchester Piccadilly to Manchester Airport. Simon Calder, travel correspondent for The Independent, said, "Like many and other regular rail users, I will be poised to buy cheap tickets the minute they go on sale for journeys I was planning to make anyway. Personally, I welcome the latest rail sale because it will save me money at the expense of the long-suffering taxpayer." There's some British sarcasm for you. The real test of the venture is whether it actually stimulates a significant amount of extra travel. The government says it is committed to getting more people onto the railway after the pandemic caused a significant slump in usage, although figures are gradually climbing. Passengers' usage continues to grow but remains 14.5% below pre-COVID levels, 2019 to 2020, when excluding the Elizabeth line, which was just added in 24 to 25, Rail Trends reveal. The sale comes months after the government announced it would be freezing regulated rail fares in England for the first time in 30 years to ease the cost of living for hard-working people. Rail sale tickets will be available to book directly with train operators and via third-party sites such as Trainline. Discounted tickets will be available on all routes and at some peak times. Rail card and other discounts cannot be used in conjunction with the rail sale fares. Other key discounts to look out for include a 76% reduction on a 41-pound ticket from Exeter to Waterloo is now available for £10. Why are you paying that? That's not even that far. Oh God. A 5-pound ticket from Newcastle to Middlesbrough will see a 62% reduction to £2, which, you know, it was already £5, so that's not that big, but still, that can save you a lot if you have to go to Newcastle and Middlesbrough all the time on the train. Sheffield and Nottingham tickets to London terminals will be reduced by 50% too. So if you live in Sheffield and Nottingham, plan that London trip. Transport Secretary Heidi Alexander said, "We all want to see the cheaper rail travel, so whether you're planning a half-term getaway or visiting friends or family, this sale offers huge reductions. It's all part of our plan to rebuild a railway owned by the public that works for the public." Yes, because as we've learned, selling public infrastructure to private companies only makes it an exclusive thing for rich people. The new year will bring in huge changes for train travel across country, and more train companies will transfer public ownership under the Great British Railways (GBR). GBR will be the single directing mind for the railways, with the government promising that the nationalisation will put passengers first and will rebuild trust in the railway. So there's your wacky news about governments undoing what previous governments did, like making everything privatized, because that will solve everything by not making it their problem anymore, right? Oh man, making a budget for the railway system is so hard. I hate being a government body. Just sell it to a private company and then they can worry about it. I swear this shit only, they only privatize these public sector things because they're too fucking lazy to budget for it. It's too much trouble. I don't want to do my job. Right. Anyways, that's my little rant there at the end.
They don't want to deal with the messy business of firing and hiring employees. So they just hire a contractor. It's very common in the United States because they want to pass on the costs and they just want to make money. And
exactly.
The middleman makes money too. The middleman's always taking a cut.
And the thing is, right, somewhere along the way, it's probably because of austerity, right? Governments are like, I need to be making money. It's like, okay, you need to make money in taxes so that you can pay for things. That's what that's for. You don't need to have a money-making scheme built into your infrastructure. That's not what right? That's not what governments are supposed to be doing. That's what taxes are for.
That's right. And trains, of course, trains, to me anyway, are the metaphor for time and just continually moving forward. Although you do sometimes trains do have to go backward, cars and stuff. They're continually moving forward at not full speed, at a constant speed, and you can't really get in their way. That's your metaphor for time. A runaway train that you can't stop.
Yep.
It's not a damn thing you do.
Runaway train, it's never coming back.
Has to do with my procrastination and this being the last day of the year already, the last day of the year, which seems like it just started 5 minutes ago. All right, let's spin the wheel for my dumb stories.
Okay, let's get your wacky stories, which are way wackier than mine. I just couldn't find any wacky stories, so I was like, this is kind of weird and wacky. The oddity of life. I'm going to give you an alliteration.
First word, tragic as hell. Okay, alliteration headline about tragedy. 2 tragedies involving people doing things that are dangerous and are, right, not recommended by your doctor or anyone. So we can feel bad for them, but they were out there doing stuff they wanted to do. They weren't just minding their own business and a meteorite hit inside their head.
Hopefully they knew the risks.
Risks were there. Risks such as swimming in open ocean waters, and the other risk, of course, is going hiking in the mountains in wintertime. APnews.com, shark attack a victim in Northern California, identifies open water swimmer. Both of these stories in California, by the way. They don't have winter in California. Oh, yes, they do, even in Southern California. Anyway, so this is from, AP News. A swimmer who went missing of being attacked by a shark last week off the Northern California coast, whose body was found days later, was identified as an ocean swimmer from Pebble Beach. If you live in Pebble Beach, you made either your life started out great or you made a lot of good choices. That's a nice place to live. Authorities recovered Erica Fox's body from the ocean south of Davenport Beach in Santa Cruz County. The sheriff's office said in a statement, Fox, 55, had been missing since going on a swim on December 21st in Monterey Bay with her husband and other members of the Kelp Crawlers, an open water swimming club she co-founded. She didn't want to live in fear, her husband said. Jean-Francois Van Rossiel told the Mercury News during a vigil Sunday, a day after her body was found. She lived her life fully. Ben Rousset, who led the vigil to commemorate his wife of 30 years, said she was still wearing her white German watch, and the shark band was still attached to her ankle. The band is an electromagnetic device meant to ward off sharks. She was a triathlete who completed 2 half Ironmans and numerous other triathlons.
So she was training.
Ben Rousset didn't witness the attack. Yeah, this is a club. They were in. The Open Swimming Club. Van Rossel didn't witness the attack on his wife, but 2 people on shore did, the Mercury News reported. He told the newspaper she taught him how to swim, and like her, she came to love the ocean waters. Experts say shark attacks are exceedingly rare. This is why it's on Weird Wednesday. Rarer than being struck by lightning or being mauled by a bear. Shark attacks are really extremely rare if you never go in the water. Only in Sharknado.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people live on land. They don't live in the water, so yeah.
Right, it's the shark's home, and to us it's a shark attack. To the shark, it was just dinner, and you're in their place. I mean, it's the same thing. You go in the bear cave and go, I wonder where that bear's chewing my face off. No mystery to me. I'm not minimizing this woman's death, but she know the dangers. She wore a shark.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like she had the stuff for the dangers. Right, she had the shock.
He's
thing.
exceedingly rare event. The Fox's death marks the second shark attack fatally at Lover's Point in 73 years. The first was in 1952 with a 17-year-old boy. Still members of their swimming club were shaken by her death. Of course they were. They were friends. In 2022, fellow club member Steve Broomer was attacked by a great white shark and severely injured. After his attack, many of the swimmers started wearing the same kind of electromagnetic shark bands that Fox was wearing, and I just go ahead and say that stop thinking that thing's going to save you, because it obviously doesn't work, and the people that made it lied to you. Oh, it was a shark repellent. Well, yeah, who proved that it ever worked? Here's your proof it doesn't work.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to do a study on if it works or not. You have to have people go swim in shark-infested waters, and that's ethically ambiguous there.
I'm just saying, if you're going to go swim with the sharks, I feel bad for you, but like I said, I'm never going to be attacked by a shark. That's one of those things, unless I'm kidnapped and thrown in a boat somewhere, I will not be in a position where a shark's snacking on my toes. Bromer, who pledged never to swim in the ocean again, used walking sticks to join the vigil on Sunday. I was also bitten by a shark, Bromer told the crowd, and I tell you, it doesn't hurt. I don't understand why, but it's not physically painful to be badly bitten. So I believe that in her final moments, Eric was not suffering in pain. I hope that it can be of some comfort to people. Okay, well, I don't know if that's any comfort to people at all. There's a story. Let's roll before we get to the next tragedy. Yeah.
Winter waves whisper warnings of wandering.
Ooh.
With wandering beneath the surface. Ooh.
Wandering for other things.
They are hunters of the ocean.
Okay, next story. 3 hikers found dead on California's Mount Baldy. Yeah, people doing things that are dangerous, and they end up finding out why they're called dangerous things, I guess. 3 hikers found dead at California's Mount Baldy, including a teen who fell 500 feet. 3 hikers, including 19-year-old who fell approximately 500 feet, have been found at Mount Baldy. And the story, is from BBC.com. Reagan Morris. Why don't you get a California sources? Because the California sources were the LA Times, and I stopped using them last election season. Rescue workers found a 19-year-old dead and discovered 2 other dead hikers during the search. Jenny Smith, a spokesperson for the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, said during a news conference. The other 2 dead hikers are not hiking with the teenager, and it's not clear how long they have been deceased on the mountain. The teenager went hiking at 29 December with a friend who was able to call for help after the teen fell. The friend had to hike away from the fall site near Devil's Backbone Trail to an area with cell reception and provided their GPS location to research crews. The companion was unharmed. The companion was unharmed. How did they not go? I'm sorry. Don't go on hikes you're not prepared for. That's just a simple lesson here. Due to high winds, emergency crews were unable to complete a recovery operation by helicopter Monday, but able to recover the bodies on Tuesday. My guess is they died of hypothermia because they're in Southern California. Go, it doesn't get cold in Southern California. Why is there snow up here? I'm sorry, not making fun of the dead people, but don't do dangerous
but
shit.
You are.
Dangerous shit. Well, I'm not. I'm just saying, God, what are you thinking? Be prepared for everything you do, not just go, well, what could possibly happen? And they've got rescue teams, by golly. Miss Smith said they rescued 5 other hikers from the mountain over the last 5 days, rising to 10,064 feet in the San Gabriel Mountains. Baldy, officially known as Mount San Antonio, has become.
I mean, if they're rescuing this many people, they should just close the mountain down. Can't they do that? Saying no hiking here? I don't know.
More than 14 people have died on this mountain since 2020, and this just adds to it. That makes it 11 to 13, which is like 30% increase, including British actor Julian Sands. I've never heard of, but there he is. That's the last thing he did in January of 2023. Although his remains were not found until 5 months later because snow. More than 100 people have been rescued from the mountain since 2020. Proximity to Los Angeles means Mount Baldy attracts experienced and inexperienced climbers. Authorities urge people to stay off the mountain, especially during such unpredictable winter weather. It is one of the most dangerous trails we've had in our area. We don't want the novice hikers going up and hurting themselves. So they've closed the trail. Thank you very much. Southern California has been blanketed in rain and snow over the last week, but on December 29th, when the team went hiking, the sun was shining. Well, the sun's shining. That's going to last forever.
We're safe now.
And the skies were blue. And unusually clear visibility across the region. Mount Baldy was visible across Southern California with breathtaking views that's far away from Catalina Island. Think about that. It was only during my lifetime, you couldn't even see the San Gabriel Mountains from Los Angeles, because the first time I was in Los Angeles, you looked to the east and you said, there's mountains out there? Are you sure? Because all I see is smog. Now you don't see so much smog. Thank you, the Californians, for cleaning up your air. That's a little side note. The weather can change quickly on Mount Baldy, as it doesn't every mountain, and conditions can be treacherous with snow and ice. Climbers venturing along the Devil's Backbone Trail are advised to carry crampons and ice axes. Crampons help you climb. Authorities have not identified the deceased hikers, although they do know the identity of the teenager. The teenagers' identities are kept secret for personal lawsuit reasons, basically. There's your story. Let's have it's a alliteration headline about people thinking that mountains are safe places in the wintertime for some damn reason. I don't understand that.
That's the one time you should never. I mean, there's a reason people waited to cross the Rocky Mountains when they were going west.
Yeah,
right? They didn't do it in the middle of winter. They said, "Oh, winter's coming. We're gonna have to wait until spring to cross the mountains." Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Perilous peaks pose profound perils, plummeting passionate into perilous predicaments.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I gotta be passionate to want to go hiking in the wintertime. I gotta tell you. You have to have something going on there.
Alright, we got all the horns there. Nice headline. Alright, your story. My story.
Next segue.
Last day of the year. Maybe the end of the week we'll revisit the writer's room.
Good morning, Vanka. It does sound like men doing men things. I mean, there is a funny joke I saw on social media that went something along the lines of, white people are so safe in society, they purposely put themselves in dangerous situations to feel the dangers of being alive.
Yep,
I don't know if I completely agree with that opinion, but you know, some things make sense.
Well, I will tell you, there's not a lot of poor people trying to go up Everest unless they're
that's true, right? If you're rich, right? You're rich, white, you never had to worry about anything in your life. You know what? I need to feel the danger of feeling alive. Let me jump off a mountain real quick. Because right now it feels like I'm barely living.
What is Richard Branson famous for other than being on the Epstein list? What's he famous for? He's famous for being a rich guy who takes a lot of chances. He started Virgin Airways and, you know, whatever. A billionaire. Probably his parents are probably rich too. But yeah, he does dangerous shit. Someone survives it. But hey, one of these days he's going to end up smack against the wall somewhere. Rich people do dangerous shit.
Our next segue is a hypothetical. So let's see what hypothetical scenario you can come up with, or it reminds you of, or whatever. For my next story, which is about getting rid of social media for anybody under 15 in France. The government's trying to regulate again. Will it work? Who knows? As a child, or as a person who was a child, as most people were children once, but I grew up specifically in the internet age. We would have certain ways to lock off the rest of the internet, right, on the computer at school, so that you couldn't access anything. Like you couldn't get on YouTube, for example, while at school and just watch YouTube videos. But kids are clever and people want you to be able to access the internet, so we figured out ways in order you could do a proxy, right? You go on a website that's safe for, that, you know, is considered safe for children, and then you could go on there and it would make a proxy that sends you to YouTube, and you could watch YouTube on there. So the idea that they're going to ban social media for anyone under 15 is a wacky idea, because I don't know how they're going to enforce that. This is from Le Monde with AFP. The government of France wants to ban social networks for those under 15 from the start of next school year, according to a draft bill seen by Le Monde, and which is to be debated in Parliament in early 26. This text, composed of 2 articles, aims to prohibit the provision by an online platform of an online social networking service to a minor under age of 15 from September 1st, 2026. Of course, right? They can just lie what age they are. I don't, like, you'd have to ask people to give IDs and their birth certificate, and then go, oh yeah, this person isn't the right age. You know,
you issue them an online ID card with a picture.
Yeah, exactly. Numerous studies and reports now attest to the various risks induced by excessive use of digital screens by adolescents. I can attest to that as a millennial. The executive justifies the document, listing in particular exposure to inappropriate content, cyberbullying, and sleep disturbances among these risks. The objective is to protect future generations from these perils, which not only hinder the satisfactory development of adolescents in their journey to adulthood, but also directly endanger the solidity of our social structure, the sharing of our collective values, and our future together, argues the government. This first article falls within the framework of the Law for Confidence in the Digital Economy, LCEN, and entrusts ARCOM, the regulatory authority for audiovisual and digital communication, with the task of enforcing this prohibition. In a second article, as in not a news article, by the way, an article of law, the government's bill aims to extend the ban on cell phone use in high school. This measure was already implemented from kindergarten through middle school by 2018 law, although it has struggled to be enforced. So why they think they're going to be able to do one with smarter children, which are high schoolers, right? High schoolers are definitely smarter than middle schoolers. I don't know how they can enforce this. If the middle school and kindergarten people are already getting over it. It is used as a source of incivility and disruption within schools, the government explains, adding that the school's internal regulation will specify the procedures for implementing this ban. President Emmanuel Macron, who has made banning social media for under 15 a priority, stated in early December that the bill should be introduced as early as January. On the 19th, Anne Le Hanouf, the Minister Delegate for Artificial Intelligence and Digital Affairs, defended the bill in an interview with the regional daily newspaper Le Parisien, calling it short and compatible with the European law, primarily the DSA, Digital Service Act. A law establishing a digital age of a majority of 15, which has to be enacted by July 2023, could be implemented due to European blockage. This government bill follows several legislative initiatives aimed at establishing a minimum age for social media. The National Assembly is scheduled to examine a similar bill in January, sponsored by the group led by Gabriel Attal, head of the Renaissance Party. On December 18th, the Senate adopted legislation to combat children's exposure to screens and social media, stipulating that minors aged 13 to 16 must obtain parental consent to register on these sites. Yet again, how do they know? Like, how do you get parental consent? You do send like a form to the website with like signed by my parent, or I don't understand how they're going to get these things and how they're doing it and how they're paying for the manpower to make sure it's happening. The SNES FSU, the leading secondary school teachers union, expressed reservations about the ban on mobile phones in high school, arguing that lessons should first be learned from system implemented in middle schools, particularly what did not work, since the ban is not effective everywhere. We must take into account the specific characteristics of the high school. Some students are of legal age or can leave as soon as they have a free period in their schedule, observed General Secretary Sophie Venachide. It seems that Emmanuel Macron is trying to win a race against his former Prime Minister Gabriel Attal, who is also very active on the issue, she believes. We don't have the technical and human resources to enforce a mobile phone ban, stated Jean-Remy Girard, president of the NALC, National Union of High School, Colleges, Primary Schools, and Higher Education. He added that Emmanuel Macron is using schools for political communication, as with the Convention on Children's Time, which cost 4 million euros, whose report has been buried. So he's just trying to be like, look, see, I totally did the thing I promised I was going to do when you elected me. Does it work? No, but I did it. So you can't say I didn't do it. Here's politicians being wacky again.
He didn't say it was going to work. He just said he was going to do it. Okay, hypothetically, in let's say 5,000 years, and all the humans have chips in our heads, and we all communicate telepathically.
We're all on computers in our heads, yeah.
We will have lost the ability to speak because we find it.
Yeah, we'll just talk to each other through our brains, yeah.
Right, and we may at some point learn a dog language just to communicate with them, but I don't think we're.
I mean, our
I think we're
tongues
just headed
might
down
underdevelop, right? Because technically our tongues are our strongest muscle. But if you never use it, it doesn't get developed, right? It'll just be the weakest muscle.
Baby's born, you put the chip right in the baby's head, and we already know how to fill it with intelligence, and the kid's already at college level intelligence by the time he's 5. And asexual reproduction, don't forget that too. We don't want to touch each other. We're just gonna have that. We don't want to talk to each other.
Oh, I mean, you've read Brave New World, right? It's an American classic.
Yeah.
Do you remember Brave New World?
Yeah, the book Brave New World.
Yeah, they don't have they have sex for fun in that book. They don't have it for creating children.
Yeah, there's a lot of dystopias out there for everybody to consume, and that's one of them. But mine,
we're already kind of at that point where people are having sex for fun, but I think that's always been a thing. That's just a human thing. That's a monkey thing.
Yeah, we're in the we're in the idiocracy dimension where the stupid people, of course, reproduce way faster than smart people. Smart people are like, I don't have enough money for a kid. I'll wait till I'm 40, and then they don't have any kids. They get to be 40, no kids, and meanwhile, their neighbor has got 9 kids by 8 different people. It's like, I love sex. Yeah, birth control, that was made out a lot years ago by the oligarchs because they want us to stay poorer. And these hovels with 14 kids. And our chips in our heads. That's the only thing that's going to change from the idiocracy. The billionaires will still be in control behind a wall somewhere, behind a paywall. Anyway, there's my hypothetical. It's a long one, but it's a hypothetical. As Isaac Asimov taps into my brain somehow and feeds me things.
Okay, Ivanka.
I'm going to blame him. What's wrong?
Oh, no, Ivanka said stupid people and immigrants have too many children.
What's an immigrant?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone in America, really.
Who's an immigrant? Everybody in Europe's an immigrant too. They all came from somewhere else. Friggin' Normans invaded England, took over. The Mongol hordes took over
At the end of the day,
the
the theory
Southern Asia.
of the replacement theory is just a theory. It's never actually happened. There's no scientific or historical evidence that replacement theory is a real thing that's happened and occurred in human society. Yeah.
The American Indians either emigrated from Asia or the Pacific Isles, but either way, they came from somewhere. Everybody came from somewhere, so immigrants having children isn't a bad thing. Of course, immigration is always a good thing because we are, especially the United States and Japan and other places, they are not replacing their retired workers with anybody. There's nobody
They're
there.
just filling job roles that
there.
have been completely abandoned by the rest of society. Sadly.
In Japan, at least in Japan, they get a longer life expectancy, so they can probably work until their 80s. I guess that's.
I know they are, but it's a problem. You shouldn't be.
States,
right? I don't think humans are designed to be doing that. That's why most people in Japan are dying from overworking. They die from overworking.
In the United States, our life expectancy is falling along with our birth rate. So our birth rate's falling, our life expectancy is falling. At least Japan is. At least the old people are staying alive longer, so they can at least cover them jobs. But they're going to start having to
accept immigrants too, and they're already doing it. That's why they have those digital. That's why they have the digital nomad visa. It's a really easy way to move to Japan and live there.
All right, you can also live in an expat, still be a part of another country's citizenship. Japan probably just wants people to work there that have skills.
I think in 50 years, Japan will be a totally different country than it is now.
Right. Well, this just goes back to the immigration is a solution. It's not a problem. I'm looking at this from purely a capitalist point of view. You can't make. I mean, AI is great. Robots are great, but you still need workers, and you still need people to fill those jobs that AI can't do. And AI can't dig a ditch. AI can't, build cables. They can't go out in the field, physically build cables. They can't install things underground. They can't build, wind turbines. Everybody needs immigration. And like I say, from a purely capitalist point of view, if you don't have workers, you can't have a company. You have to go on the skeleton crew. It doesn't maximize your opportunities. In the United States, you can't. For instance, in Eastern Shore, where I used to live, is full of a lot of just farms and a lot of chicken farms everywhere. Now, these chickens don't just, when they don't graduate high school and go into college, they go to the food processing place. All of them, every stinking chicken in that whole county goes to what? There's several. Tyson's got one, all kinds of these countries. Cisco. Food processing plants. Who works at those food processing plants? Immigrants. Why? Americans don't want to pull chicken heads off all day. They just don't. Tell people that they graduated from high school and they're going to go work at a chicken factory. They will rebel and run away. They will not do it. They will work there a week and quit. Immigrants don't have any such compunction because their country they're from sucks so much. They love their job. I work 10 hours a day. I'm getting money and I have freedom and I'm not being drafted into the army for the latest fracas. Anyway, there's my long story on immigration being
That's your long hypothetical or reality even. I have one more story. More wacky news. Sorry. This is about Bulgaria finally adopting the euro after 20 years of being inside the European Union. That's right. You do have the option to not adopt the currency, and they're finally deciding to do it now. This is from Shola Lawal on Al Jazeera. Bulgaria will become the 21st member of the Eurozone or Schengen monetary area on Thursday, despite being I can't say the word. There have been skeptics from some time in the country and amid fears of inflation. The Southeast European country has been a member of the European Union since 2007, but formally met the Eurozone entry criteria only in January 2025, paving the way for its currency accession after a long delay. The reason for this is because if you get a currency that's not at the same or marginal level of the euro, and then you add their currency into your economic area, suddenly you're going to create inflation. That's kind of what happened with Greece, if anybody was aware of the euro crisis back in, what was that, 2016, maybe 2014 or something. That happened because Greece actually, they really wanted Greece to be in the Eurozone. So they kind of let Greece cheat. They overinflated their own currency to match the euro currency. So then as soon as Europe, they joined the Eurozone, and then their currency crashed. It crashed the entirety of the euro. So they're trying to avoid that this time by making sure, hopefully, Bulgaria is actually ready to join the Eurozone with the right level of currency margin so it doesn't collapse the economy again. The move will increase the number of Europeans using the euro to 356 million people and geographically extend the single currency into the Black Sea area for the first time, despite ongoing geopolitical tensions. However, there is a concern among some Bulgarians that adopting the euro could bring on an economic crisis in a country considered the poorest in the EU. There is a widespread mistrust in the government. Earlier this December, the minority pro-EU coalition leading the country was compelled to resign after mass protests erupted against a proposed budget plan that sought to introduce higher taxes. Despite the plan being withdrawn, the protests grew to encompass demands for broader governmental change. So what was happening in Bulgaria? It's a country of 6.7 million people, joined the EU in 2007, and has since been pushing to join the Eurozone. However, the political instability has slowed the progress of reforms required for the country to be accepted into the zone, as government after government has grappled with allegations of corruption. Under the 92 Maastricht Treaty, EU member states must meet 5 criteria before they join the Eurozone. These set fixed targets are for inflation, budget deficit, debt to GDP, gross domestic product ratio, exchange rate stability, and long-term interest rates. All of these things can affect how the economy will react when you add a new money, a whole mass amount of people who can spend money into your European common economy. Monetary policy is centrally controlled by the European Central Bank, ECB. The EU finally greenlit Bulgaria's ambitions in January of 25, so at the beginning of the year, after determining that it had now met the economic and legislative criteria to join the Eurozone. In June and July, EU institutions, the European Council, the Financial Affairs Council, both in Brussels, and the European Parliament in Strasbourg, gave their approval for the accession. The EU has set a conversion rate of €1 to 1.95583 Bulgarian LEV BGN under the European exchange rate mechanism. So they're going to have less money. They're going to have, almost one less money than before. But the euro is a stronger currency, so it'll be able to purchase more. That's the idea, anyways. Which Bulgaria joined in 2020 as a condition for adopting the euro. The move formally pegged the LEV, or the lev, to the euro. However, the lev has informally already been pegged to the euro since 1999, when Germany switched to the currency. This is because Bulgaria had tied its currency to the German mark in 1997 in a bid to stabilize its economy and rein in soaring inflation. Therefore, many analysts say the formal adoption of the single currency may not bring as big a change as some fear, which is good. You don't want a big change when you're switching currencies. That's fine. That's not bad news for me. I think that's for the best. If you don't even notice your currency is switched, you guys did a good job. Maybe bread's a little more expensive than you remember because you're using a different currency, but While Bulgarian businesses will now be able to access the single euro market without further exchange risks, researchers from the National Bank of Belgium estimate that more than 80% of Bulgarian imports have been denominated in euros since 1999. Since it joined the exchange rate mechanism in 2020, Bulgaria has been subject to the ECB policy. Now it will have a seat at the bank's governing council, giving the country a say on rating policy. Bulgarians are fairly evenly split on the issue of joining the Eurozone. Surveys conducted by the Bulgarian firm Alpha Research show that in May 25, 46.5% supported adopting the euro, while 46.8% opposed it. Even though, as we've just talked about in the previous paragraph, they've already basically been the euro this whole time, just with a different word. They've already been tied to the euro since 1999. So it wouldn't change anything. According to pollsters, most of those against the move were residents of smaller town villages, often pensioners or semi-educated working-age individuals active on social media, where they're probably eating up all that delicious anti-euro propaganda. They're telling me the Eurozone's gonna destroy my life. They must be right, because they know more than me. Experiences in other countries have shown that whenever there is a changeover from a national currency to the euro, there's often minor inflation effect, which is expected because you're switching currencies, but it's typically less than 1%. I don't think there's any country in the world who can be like, we have an inflation less than 1%. Nothing to complain about. Speaking in the capital city Sofia in November, ECB President Christine Lagarde said switching to the euro would deliver smoother trade, lower financing costs because you don't have to exchange currency, and provide more stable prices. She added that adopting the euro would have a modest inflation impact of 0.2 to 0.4%. Oh God, call the press! Panic in the streets! But many Bulgarians also fear the move will lead to the loss of their Bulgarian identity. This is true. It's definitely something, there's something, we call it banal nationalism. So this idea that your currency, which will have, your world leaders on it, some nationalistic symbols like your flag or big monuments, right? That's gone now. They won't have their LEV banknotes, which have special Bulgarian significance, famous people on them. Ivan Malev, for example, whose image is displayed on the 5 lev note, was a prominent early 20th century painter who helped shape Bulgarian modernism. Well, and they're not going to be there anymore, right? But now you can sell your old bills for lots of money. Sorry?
They can still put them on coins. I said they can still put them on coins because the euro coins have individual country information. Like it'll have Spain this, or right? It'll say France, or it'll have a French
no,
thing.
you're 100% correct. But the problem with the euro bill is that it only has buildings on it. It doesn't have people. There's no. As far as I remember, there's actually a regulation they passed that the euro cannot. Or maybe it does have people. I swear it was something like it cannot have people. It can only have. Yeah, that's a pound, so that doesn't matter.
That's a pound. I got a euro here too. I was just comparing.
I don't remember. I remember that the euro doesn't have people. Yeah, it just only has buildings. They have famous buildings from all over Europe, but no people. I think. I don't remember. But I swear there was some provision where they said they can only have buildings or famous European architectural things.
Look, they shaded in the Eurozone, right? That's what it is in the back. So they're gonna have to shade in Bulgaria. That's all that happened. They just pretend they did.
Yes. So they fear losing their Bulgarian, their Bulgarian pride, identity. But if your identity is going to be, to be fair, the whole point kind of the euro and the Eurozone and the European Union is to become European. You're still allowed to be Bulgarian, but it is supposed to be a common identity of being European. So that's why the money only displays common things, and it doesn't. Yeah, it's not going to show even Malev. You can probably get that on a coin, though, on the euro, on one of the coins. Bulgaria has endured 7 parliamentary elections in the past 4 years, and many voters are concerned about the political establishment's ability to handle the change. The ruling coalition, which was forced to step down in December after its proposed higher taxes, was itself divided on the issue. So some else will decide how we spend our money. The Bulgarian budget will be approved by the European Central Bank. Kostadinov, leader of the pro-Russian Vazar-Zadane party, told protesters calling for the referendum on the currency issue in June, "This is an anti-state coup. This is treason," he added. Said the guy paid by Russia to say stuff against the EU. Wow, what a surprise.
If they were changing the rubles, he'd be ecstatic, wouldn't he?
Kostadinov and other far-right politicians have also been accused of spreading false claims, wow, surprise, that the savings of common Bulgarians will disappear as a result of the change, while online Russian networks are alleged to have amplified similar narratives across the Euronews reports. But yes, all 27 member states are legally obligated to use the euro. although there are no set time frame by which they must adopt the currency. Members have the right to postpone adoption and set their own timelines, and the EU releases its own report every 2 years assessing members' readiness to join the Eurozone. In 2023, Croatia became the latest EU country to adopt the euro, releasing its kuna at the rate of 1 to 77.53 kuna. It joined the EU in 2013. 6 EU members are still not part of the Eurozone: Poland, which has the zloty, Denmark the krona, Hungary the forint, Romania the leu, Sweden the krona, and the Czech Republic with the koruna. Most have chosen to hold on to their currencies to maintain independence from the ECB on key issues such as growth rates, handling of inflation, or national debt, and being able to choose to devalue their currencies. Only the Romanian government has set a tentative deadline of 27 or 28 for joining the single currency. Under the 92 Edinburgh Agreement, Denmark was the only member to secure a special opt-out deal with the EU after Danish voters rejected the Maastricht Treaty in a referendum, voting instead to keep the krone. A second referendum on joining the Eurozone in 2008 yielded another no response for 53.2% of voters. The United Kingdom, which was a member of the EU until 2020, secured an opt-out also with the Maastricht Treaty. Well, when they were negotiating joining in 1992, it never adopted the euro. At its creation in 1999, 1 euro was worth about $1.17, and it is currently 1.18 against the pound. The euro was initially set as about 0.70 pounds, while the currency rate is approximately 0.87 pounds. So they've been going all of each other. I don't understand the point of joining a economic union if you're not going to use their currency, but I'm sure these people have reasons that make sense to them. It doesn't make sense to me, but I'm sure it makes sense to them.
There's people that make money.
Yes, there's 3 different currencies. Sorry, Ivanka's asking a question. There's 3 different currencies that all have K's in them. There is the... Where was I reading that? I lost it now. Ah, here it is. There's 3 different currencies. There's the krone with an E at the end. There's a krona with an A at the end. And there's a koruna, which is in Hungary, I think. So, krona in Sweden... Krona in Czech, and then krona with an E in Denmark. Those are, they're all different currencies, but they all have similar naming things. Yes. Anyways,
the world's strongest currencies are the top 4 are all Middle Eastern countries: Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, and Jordan. And number 5 is British pound sterling. The euro gets in at 9. At 87 pounds, basically. Basically, we're comparing these to pound sterling for some reason. The United States dollar only buys 70.73, so it's after the euro. Yeah, the Kuwaiti dinar is worth 2 pounds 42.4, whatever British cents is. Anyway, my thing is they're selling this. Here, my hypothetical is okay. I have 1,000. What is it called? Kev? Okay, 1,000 Kev, Bulgarian money. Today, I can buy 510 euros of that money. Under this agreement, I can actually buy 775 euros. So I'm making way more money on the exchange. So there's a difference in there of 200 Kevs, right? Or 220 euros, right? With my money. So if one day I can only buy 500, and one day and the next day for a limited amount of time, I'm sure I can line up, take all my cash, and exchange it for the new cash, right? But somebody's making money off that transaction. Who do you think's making all that extra money? Somebody's making that money in the middle, right?
It's the banks.
They're going to take that profit away from you. Yeah, the bank is going to charge. First of all, they're going to charge you they'll probably give you a week or something where it's going to be a low commission or a low percentage of it, whatever to do the transfer. But then they're going to raise it up. And let's not forget, the first people to get the cash will be the banks. So they will be in charge from then on who gets the money, because that's always happened with banks. So that's my hypothetical. It seems like a great deal, and you're right, it will cause inflation because people are going to spend that money right away. They're going to spend it, especially poor people. But it will stimulate your economy.
For me, it's just like you're already in a place where you're buying stuff from EU, right? You're buying bread from Germany. I don't know. You're just buying stuff. You're already in a trade union where you don't have any tariffs and people are already trading all over the place. And then you're using a different currency means you have to. It's like when for example, we went to Denmark, right? And I literally had no idea what the cost of the things I were buying was because it was in krona.
I know.
So I was like, okay, it says like
Iceland.
My hair oil, I think, was 12,000 krona. I have no idea what that is. I think it's $20. Right? I don't know. 20 euro. I have no fucking clue what 12,000 is.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of money when it really isn't.
Yeah.
So I guess the point I'm making is the banks are going to make that money in the middle, and if I forgot what I was going to say, but whatever. Let's do the next story. You got another story?
Yes, I'm rolling the segue wheel.
Oh, you don't know this story.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a joke.
Let's talk too much anyway. Joke, you say? Okay. All right. My stories are the following. We got some shoes, and then we got some legs, which is what shoes go on. BBC.com has another story for us. Hundreds of Victorian shoes wash up on Ogmore Beach in Wales. This happened last week, so he's just getting around to it now. A beach cleanup team were working to restore rock pools on Ogmore Beach when they found more than 200 shoes in the area. Now the teams are trying to solve this puzzling discovery and find out how the shoes might have appeared here. Emma Lamport is from the Beach Academy Social Enterprise who found the shoes and posted the discovery on social media. That led people in the area suggesting that they may have come from a wrecked Italian cargo ship around 150 years ago. It's thought the shipwreck might have happened near Tusker Rock, a small bit of land around 3 kilometers west of the beach. Dr. Michael Roberts, a Bangor University School of Ocean Scientist, is currently studying shipwrecks around the coast of Wales. He said he didn't have any records of about the suggestion of the Italian cargo ship, but he said it was possible that shipwrecks from the Victoria era are of an age that means they could break down and fall apart underwater. This is not the first time shoes have washed ashore. Emma Lamport said the beach cleanup team has been doing the project since September to try and tidy up the marine litter, which was in the rock pools, but she didn't expect to find hundreds of Victorian shoes. It's not unusual to see a shoe, but when it's so many, it's a little bit strange. Some of the boots are in pretty good condition, and with some you can very clearly see they're a men's boot. Local author Lara Michaelem thinks the boots were definitely Victorian. Some of the shoes found were quite small, so they could be children's, but Lara said these could be women's shoes as people had much smaller feet in those days. Did they? Is that a proven thing? It is not the first time shoes have washed ashore in this area. One post on social media a few years ago found similar footwear. So there's your Victorian shoes mystery. There's a lot of Victorians walking around barefoot out there for hundreds of years looking for the shoes. They died without them. Shoeless, penniless. There's your, let's have the, what is it? Are you there? That's my story. Back to the thing.
That was very short, and I didn't have a joke for you. I was looking up jokes.
No joke? Okay, we'll do the next story. We'll do the 2 jokes. No jokes about shoes. Okay, we'll do the next story. This one's a little bit longer. Plenty of time. This is from ndoc.com. This comes from Oklahoma. People, Stephen A. Martin, not Steve Martin, Stephen A. Martin. The Chickasha leg lamp spurs the economy as Warner Brothers complaint lingers. Yeah, Warner Brothers wants to get their grubby mitts. Don't forget, Warner Brothers once upon a time tried to sue Groucho Marx for using the word Casablanca in the Marx Brothers movie.
Really?
Casablanca Nights, right? Casablanca is an actual place. It's not like something they invented for a movie. So the Marx Brothers made a movie called Casablanca Nights. Warner Brothers sent the Marx Brothers a cease and desist letter saying you cannot use the word Casablanca. So Marx Brothers sent them another cease and desist letter saying you cannot use the word brothers. We are the Marx Brothers and you're using Warner Brothers. That's how absurd your claim is. Casablanca is a place. It's not a copyrighted phrase. Anyway, that was my little side note on Warner Brothers being litigious. This is from Chickasha, Oklahoma. In downtown Chickasha, a 50-foot leg lamp glows over the city plaza, drawing tourists, sparking small business sales, and anchoring new holiday identity fueled by a kind of fragile optimism that whoever owns the rights to a Christmas
can't make that
story
joke. It's
will
copyrighted.
see the tribute. Fragile, like Jacqueline. Anyway, the rights to a Christmas optimism that whoever owns the rights to Christmas Story will see the tribute as an affection rather than an infringement. Yeah, we're promoting your stupid movie. Why do you try to sue us? For now, the Optimist is holding more than a year after Warner Brothers Discovery sent a cease and desist letter over the display. No further illegal action has followed. City leaders, local businesses, and the Chickasaw Community Foundation say they acted in good faith and within the law, and they're betting the corporate rights holder won't pull the plug on the attraction. Love the metaphor. That has helped reshape downtown Chickasha. I want to say Chickasha because Chickasaw has a W at the end during the holiday season. The leg lamp stands at the center of the plaza near the city's visitor center, but officials say it is only one piece of the broader redevelopment strategy built around seasonal tourism. Plans already underway include a proposed park south of the plaza and a pedestrian bridge intended to better connect downtown attractions and improve foot traffic. This didn't happen in isolation, said Pat Brooks, a former mayor of Chickasha and longtime civic booster who serves on the board of Chickasha Community Foundation. The lamp became a focal point, but the goal has always been to build something bigger around it. I see generations come in, says somebody in this quote. As hoped, Chickasha's broader vision has already begun to take shape. Just blocks away, Ralphie's House, a bed and breakfast modeled after the iconic home from A Christmas Story, draws visitors year-round. Plans for a movie-themed restaurant have also been promoted as part of the area's broader tourism footprint. You'll shoot your eye out. Local business owners say the effect has been tangible. Inside the Chickasha Visitor Center, shop owner Pamela Pryther said the foot traffic has increased steadily as visitors circulate between the plaza, nearby shops, and themed attractions. Pryther operates a Crafty Queen & Co., which sells a mix of handmade crafts and officially licensed A Christmas Story merchandise, officially licensed now. They're not stealing money from you, they're giving you a kickback, including the iconic Red Ryder BB gun, Pink Bunny souvenirs, and multiple sizes of leg lamps. The business has been good, I can't complain, Pryther said. Pryther says she has first began selling leg lamp theme items at 21 with an inflatable version of the lamp as part of the downtown festivities. She believes that she was the first person in Chickasha to sell leg lamp crafts locally. I see generations come in who won't even know the movie, she said. Grandparents explaining it to kids. Maybe it sparked interest in A Christmas Story where it might have been lost. The generational reach, city leaders argue, is part of why Chickasha leaned into the symbolism. The town has long marketed itself as Christmas destination through its Festival of Light, now in its 33rd year, and officials say the leg lamp simply gave that identity a nationally recognizable image. Mayor Zachary Grayson said the city viewed the display as an extension of its existing holiday brand, not a departure from it. It isn't some rogue stunt, Grayson said. It fits with what Chickasha has done for decades. That reputation has extended beyond tourism. Brooks said the owner of the city's airport industrial park cited Chickasha's holiday. I said Chickasha, didn't I? Chickasha's programming, including the Festival of Light, is a factor in deciding to locate operations in the city. They put an industrial park there just because of that. You're providing local jobs. There you go. You grow your economy through tourism. Just don't piss people off with a bunch of nonsense. That's the only thing I can come up with here. People notice when a town invests in itself. Is what he said. There's also a deeper, more personal connection that helps explain why Chickasha embraced the Christmas Story so fully. The connection traces back to former University of Oklahoma professor Nolan Eugene James, who grew up in Chickasha and later claimed to have developed a leg concept that became the film's iconic prop. The claim undocumented in his obituary and has become part of local lore. So he claims, hey, I invented that stinking lamp. That wasn't created by the writer of that movie or that book or the screenplay. It is one of those stories people here have told for years. Whether or not Hollywood ever acknowledges it, folks in Chickasha feel the sense of ownership over the idea. That sense of ownership, however, exists alongside a clear legal reality. Warner Brothers, which didn't produce the movie, didn't make the movie, didn't write the book, didn't do nothing. They just own the rights. Bunch of rich assholes. Had nothing to do with any creation of any art whatsoever. We own it! Anyway, Warner Brothers Discovery retains the right to A Christmas Story, which they don't have to do anything. They just put it out every year and then sell commercial time and make shitloads of money. And they're not making enough off of it, apparently. The company sent a cease and desist letter regarding the Chickasha display more than a year ago, has taken no further action. Warner Brothers Discovery spokesman told Non-Doc that the company does not have a comment on the Chickasha Lakeland. Dude, you ought to embrace it. And the fact that they're probably going to be showing it in the theaters during the festival. Meanwhile, the company is currently the subject of a rival takeover. Well, that's probably why they're not Netflix and Paramount Global are both competing to take over what used to be Warner Brothers, which is going to be turned into another part of the media empire of a few billionaires, and you're only going to see what they want you to see. And a media industry analyst note that changes in corporate ownerships often bring renewed scrutiny of intellectual property enforcement. That's right. There's a couple of dimes out there we haven't gotten our hands on. There's a couple of dimes. Let's scour the country, hire teams of lawyers to recover those dimes. This is particularly the case as new management teams reassess legacy assets. If ownership of the film were to change hands, Chickasha's situation would become riskier without formal licensing agreement. A more centralized rights holder could take stricter view of the unauthorized uses, even those framed as a tribute. I don't know. If they'd make us take down the, I got an idea. If they'd make you take down the leg statue, make a new statue of a giant middle finger, and still have your festival. That's my idea. And let's see somebody claim that.
All right, that's going to be in our merch store coming next year, 2026.
My town, a giant middle finger. That's right. Just a fist with a finger sticking up. There you go.
We should put that. Honestly, we should put the whole. We're not artificial intelligence. We're neither artificial or intelligent on the shirt, and then we should sell that on a coffee mug or something.
They need to have bloodhound races too, right? For the Bumpus's dogs. His big, smelly. You don't remember the Bumpus's dogs? They ate the Christmas turkey. I don't want to give away the ending. Oh, you gotta have a choir singing. You gotta have choirs singing "Silent Night, Holy Night." All this. And you gotta have a chop the duck's head off.
Hey, I would kill for a duck on Christmas Eve, or whatever.
I'll tell you what.
I know we were only in Denmark, but we went to that Chinese restaurant, right, in Denmark, and we had duck, and it was really good. That duck was really good. Oh, I wish I had a Chinese duck more often. I can't remember what it was called.
That was just off the
Kung Pao
beaten
duck
path.
or something like that.
That was good, right? You were licking.
It was really,
you were licking the plate,
really tender, almost melted in your mouth, and it was just marinated for 20 days or something, right? The duck was so flavorful.
I remember. I reached for a piece, and you went. Okay.
Just like the dogs, the neighbors' dogs, yeah.
Sorry, man. You said it was good. I was just trying to sample it. All right. So is that your? Sorry. That must have been,
I've got you some jokes.
Okay. Jokes.
Got some jokes for you about shoes and heels and all sorts of things. What sort of shoes do bread wear?
I don't know.
Loafers. A friend of mine is an expert in making clown shoes. It's no small feat.
Oh!
I saw a man holding a boot to each ear. He was listening to soul music.
They're getting bad puns now. Oh my god.
My wife said I should get high heels for her birthday. I'm getting some weird looks as I walk down the street. Doesn't really work because I'm a woman, but if you said that joke, it'd be funnier. there's your jokes. And let's get a segue.
Just laughing at something else I can't repeat. Kind of
Okay, time to write a haiku about
don't forget to
the monkey Jesus. Right, everyone remembers this. It's the most infamous restoration of all time. Sadly, the artist who did the restoration has passed away at 94. But we're going to relive the wackiness of attempting to restore a photo of Jesus. I say a photo, a painting. And famously mucking up the job. This is from Steven Bergen in Barcelona. Spanish woman's attempted restoration of church artwork was widely mocked, but became a lucrative tourist attraction. Cecilia Jimenez, the woman who achieved unwanted international fame for her botched Monkey Christ restoration of a 19th century mural in Borja, northeast Spain, has died at the age of 94. In 2012, Jimenez, an amateur artist, decided to restore Ese Homo, a mural by a local artist, Elias Garcia Martinez, that hung in the Santuario de Misericordia church in Borja. However, her talent as an artist was not equal to her good intentions, and she produced what was described as the worst restoration in history. Amid the storm of mockery and bad publicity over what became known as the Monkey Christ, Jimenez took to her bed with an attack of anxiety. I don't blame her, right? And I want to be clear here that I don't want to bully this woman. I mean, she's passed away now, but it's the ludicrousy of the situation, right? It's like somebody wrote a comedy skit, right? I'm going to restore this painting. That's why it's so funny. Because sometimes the funniest thing come from the most goodest of intentions. She took to her bed with an attack of anxiety, losing 17 kilos or 37 pounds in the process. However, she soon found that the notoriety had an upside as people began bidding to buy her own art, which she sold on eBay, and she later donated the proceeds to a Catholic charity. The botched restoration became the first of an internet sensation, and then a tourist attraction, and then the church began charging admission. Ryanair laid on special flights to Zaragoza, the nearest airport, and today thousands of people continue to visit the village to see her monkey Jesus. So here's some positive news in the wackiness of the world. Not only has the picture fame provided jobs for sanctuary museums to caretakers, but the 1,600,000 euros as brought to the village helps fund places at Borja's care home for elderly people. In 23, Behold the Man, English for Esse Homo, an opera based on the story written by Andrew Flack, a U.S. public relations expert, with music composed by Paul Fowler, had its own world premiere at the Opera in Las Vegas. Jimenez was not well enough to attend, but her niece was there an opening night to represent the family. Eduardo Arila, the mayor of Borja, said that his tribute to Jimenez, that she had lived a hard life. She was widowed while still young with 2 disabled children, one of whom died of muscular dystrophy. Arila said the greatest homage that could be paid to anyone was that they had done with their life, emphasizing that the benefit she had brought to Borja. He said the Esse Homo Center would be named after her, and perhaps a street or a square. The local church said in a statement, Cecilia was a devoted mother and a fighter, a strong woman, but above all, we should talk about her generosity, which has won her the whole world's affection. So there's your sweet little ending to the wackiness of, I can do this, I can paint, I can restore this. I would. Right? I mean, if you saw what the original one looked like, I don't know why she redid the face. She could have only just redone the hair, right? But she painted over the whole thing.
Maybe she sneezed.
Whole thing. She was like, I got a better version of Jesus, and he looks like a monkey.
Maybe he did look like a monkey. We don't have any photographs.
Yeah, we don't know. Maybe that is what he looked like.
Definitely possible. My haiku is. All right, ready for my haiku?
Yes.
I can fix this thing. No, it's Jesus, not a monkey. Have a banana. Finally just gave up and said, have a banana.
You know what? I tried my best, and I think I should stop here. Oh, sorry, wrong one.
All right, let's do the spin. British knee.
Let's go into this day in history.
Whoops.
And I will give you a mixed metaphor, maybe even 3 mixed metaphors.
Next, for this day in history. It's not a whole lot of things today, I don't think. I think a lot of people took the day off in history and said, I'm not dying today. It's a bad day to die. So on this day, we're going to look at the year of 1600. 425 years ago today, the East India Company, formed for the exploitation of trade with East and Southeast Asia and India, was incorporated by English Royal Charter. And they said, hey, let's start messing around over there. 1775, American troops under General Richard Montgomery and Colonel Benedict Arnold were defeated by British in the Battle of Quebec. And Benedict Arnold is known far and wide as the most famous traitor in American history. Now, Trump's taken his place, of course, but a lot of people won't publicly acknowledge it, even though they know it. 1857, I'm talking to you, Republicans. 1857, Queen Victoria named Ottawa the national capital of Canada. Before that, they had no capital. She was asked to make a selection after political quarrels among the rival Canadian cities proved unreasonable. Queen Victoria just threw a dart at the map and said, there you go, there's your capital, shut the fuck up. 1869, Henri Matisse, the artist often regarded as the most important French painter of the 20th century, was born, and he was born in the 19th century. So, 1880, George C. Marshall was born in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, known for the Marshall Plan, which rebuilt Europe after World War II, or helped to. Get it on a start, give you a little kickstart from the United States. Here you go. Happy rebuilding, everybody. The U.S. Army Chief of Staff during World War II and as U.S. Secretary of State and of Defense, the architect of the Marshall Plan for European recovery, recipient of a Nobel Prize for Peace in 1953. A general needed a Nobel Prize for Peace. Interesting. 1972, baseball great Roberto Clemente died in an airplane crash en route to Nicaragua with relief supplies collected for earthquake survivors. He was probably the best outfielder in history as far as defense goes. He ended his career with exactly 3,000 hits. Well, he didn't end his career, he ended his life, but his life ended, he had 3,000 hits. Never got a chance to get up to bat again. 1991, the Soviet Union legally ceased to exist. Yeah, 1991, they legally ceased to exist, as everybody knew they didn't exist anyway. And other former Soviet republics having declared themselves independent and having founded the Commonwealth of Independent States on December 21st, 1991. In 1999, speaking of the Soviet Union, Russian President Boris Yeltsin resigned, and Prime Minister, you know him, you love him, just sarcastic, Vladimir Putin became the acting president. Putin was elected to the post the following year, and they've been holding elections ever since where he's the only guy in the ballot. You get to vote for him or not vote for him. Either way, you don't have another choice.
And even if he is the only guy on the ballot, somehow they're still stuffing ballot boxes with votes for him. Just cover all your bases, you know?
I believe he was term limited, so he just made up another title for him, and he's still the leader, yeah. Right? They even elected another guy president, but that guy's just a figurehead. 1999, also, the United States officially handed over control of the Panama Canal to Panama, which we had, the United States would invent a country called Panama and steal it from Colombia to even get any kind of control over the situation. 2004, Taipei 101 opened in Taipei, Taiwan. It was the tallest building in the world until Burj Khalifa was completed in 2007. I'm guessing that's one of those United Arab Emirates. No idea. Might be Indonesia. I'm not even sure. Where's Burj Khalifa? Anyway, the Taipei 101 was finished. 1,667 feet, 508 meters, or 5 football fields. Probably a couple of Empire State Buildings, if you're measuring in Empire State Buildings, if you have one of those on you. 2019, the World Health Organization first learned of viral pneumonia cases in Wuhan, China. This is when the World Health Organization discovered the COVID-19 virus and became a global pandemic in a matter of weeks because of all the Chinese.
I don't think
on
Wiz
cruise
Khalifa is
ships.
his real
Right.
name, Vanka.
Who?
Exactly. Don't worry about it. Vanka's asking stupid questions because he thinks he's funny.
Oh, I gotcha. If you're scoring at home, that is the end of that. No, one more. Yeah, no, that's all. If you're scoring at home or if you're just alone, that's an old ESPN joke. 1907, the ball that's... If you don't get it, well, I apologize. 1907, the ball that started it all, the first ball was dropped on Times Square in New York City to celebrate New Year's Eve on this day in 1907. Well, made of iron and covered in light bulbs, the ball was so heavy that it had to be wrangled by 6 men and established a tradition that continues to this day. One of our neighbors, the guy, you remember the guy way in the end of towards the highway, right? He always has the lights up and he had that sign. He still has the sign. Remember that guy? He's got his own New Year's Eve ball up now. I think he wants people to gather in his yard. I don't know. So there's what other things we got today? We got Anthony Hopkins' birthday. Anthony Hopkins is turning 88. That's right. Hannibal Lecter, send him some fava beans in Lake Chianti. Port Talbot, Wales, he was born. Did you know he was Sir Anthony Hopkins was Welsh? There you go. You didn't know that. Happy birthday to Anthony Hopkins, 88. Alex Ferguson, Scottish football player and manager, born in 1941. Ben Kingsley, another British actor, born in 1943. Well, I shouldn't say another British actor because he's not Welsh. Nicholas Sparks, American author, born in 1965. And PSY, or Psy, South Korean singer and rapper, which I am not familiar with. But hey, they're famous enough to be on this list. Born in 1977. National days today. It is New Year's Eve, in case you were curious about that. And some of you are closer to it than I am. I'm about 14 hours away. So it's 14 hours left in this year. And this is why we have to make up our mind dates. Make up your mind day. What are you going to do? I'm not exactly sure what that means, but it shows a picture of a guy making a decision on which path to take, I think. It's leap second time adjustment day. That's right. The atomic clocks at midnight will be reset by a couple seconds, 1 second, just to make sure all the clocks are completely accurate for the satellites. Very important for satellites to be synced up. Make up your own mind day. New Year's Eve, and it's also No Interruptions Day and National Champagne Day. And champagne, again, people drink it on New Year's Eve way before the clock strikes midnight.
Or if you're poor, prosciutto, which is the same thing, just not made from champagne.
Right? Because who wants to wait till midnight to get their drink on?
Everybody who's not a foodie. Champagne is just wine that's been carbonated. You can do it with anything. Put some red wine in your soda stream and you got champagne.
Yeah, just go ahead and violate No Interruptions Day. I'm just kidding. That's what it is. It's No Interruptions Day. You interrupted me. No, I was just saying, yeah, absolutely. You can drink whatever you want. Just get your drink on because, hey, you can't be sober at midnight. Who ever heard of that? You might actually not kiss a stranger. Those are your days. Those are your haikus. We got haikus. We got jokes. We got everything. Mispronunciation for the last day of the year, December 31st, 2025 on Before Champagne. Before kissing a stranger.
Yeah. I'm not going to be doing any of those because I don't want to get sick. But
you do the video, right?
I already slotted it in. I've got 3 mixed metaphors for you. The first one is the gloves are off and the ball is in New York. And she's the bee's knees and the cookie too for our Hannibal Lecter. And of course, it's not my first time interrupting you. So there's your mixed metaphors here on our Wacky and Weird Wednesday and the final day of 2025.
Knock joke. Wait, I got a knock joke.
Oh, goodness. Bonus joke.
You might know it. Knock.
Who's there?
The interrupting cow. You're not going to do that, huh? You're not going to play. Mo! Sorry. You've heard that one, I think. Okay.
We will see you guys next year. I know, the classic joke. We'll see you next year. I'm going to have a list of the songs that I think represent every month and the year.
Cool.
Because I wanted to have one because you had one last Thursday. So that will be tomorrow on Thursday and on the first day of January. If we don't see you, hope you have a good rest of the year. Have a good New Year's Eve and a good 2026. It's going to be Year of the Horse. And the joke I've been making about the Year of the Horse is that we're all hung. So you can take that how you want.
A horse is a horse, of course, of course.
To be fair, it's not the Year of a Horse until February, because that's when the actual Chinese New Year is, or the Lunar New Year. But
unless, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. It is, of course, unless the horse is a famous Mr. Ed.
And there also are no international days today other than most of the Western world International Day of the New Year. And we will see you tomorrow. Subscribe to the Before Coffee podcast channel so that YouTube knows people love to watch our show. You can support us on Patreon, see some bonus footage on there, as well as other things. And don't forget to turn on those notifications so you know when we go live and post a video. And here is our sexy mic drop moment. Yeah, sexy. That's what I'm going to say.
Chickasha landmark
Electric
is at the center
sex.
of a battle with
I mean, that's why he got in
Warner
trouble, because it's a sexy
How about that?
leg.
The company says the massive leg
It's his
lamp
major
you see here
prize.
inspired by
Huge.
Major award.
That's a huge
Christmas story
leg.
needs to be taken down.
That's a major
News 4's
award,
Sydney
my
Batsloff
friend.
has the story. It's new
The
at
fishnet
6.
stockings, man.
This 50-foot leg lamp has become a
Which feels
Chickasha
really
landmark.
weird if you still have leg
Warner
hair, by
Brothers
the way.
says It's copyright infringement and wants
Plus,
to
To wear
it was easy to
fishnets.
make. You just ordered a big fishnet, right?
No idea. I think it's made of nylon now.
Towering over Chickasha's downtown since 2020.
It's actually really scary, fishnets, because they're like
Gotta be
very small,
concrete.
and then when you put it on, it gets stretched to the.
measures this.
Bro, that's got to be reinforced concrete, man. That would blow over otherwise.
Yeah.
People were exposed to the phrase Chickasha leg lamp.
The Chickasha Community Foundation sought legal advice before building the lamp, ensuring they wouldn't violate
Fragile.
trademarks. Jim Cowan says Warner Brothers never raised concerns until last fall when they received a letter.
Cease and desist.
Somebody needs to
story.
let the Bumpus's dogs. I'm telling you,
once
that
the
needs to be a
Community
thing.
Foundation got that
On
letter,
dog races.
the Community Foundation
Bloodhound
attorneys
races.
that are trademark specialists responded to Warner Brothers attorneys, and once they did that, we haven't heard another word.
Warner Brothers claims
There you go.
it's copyright
We have a lawyer
infringement.
too.
Cowan doesn't see it that
And
way.
then they don't reply. Yeah.
Admission to see the leg lamp. Anybody can come and take a picture. We sell officially licensed merchandise in our gift shop.
Plus, the land it sits on is owned by the University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma.
Public universities are immune from trademark infringements because of when they use art.
While no lawsuit has been filed, Cowan is ready to fight if it gets to that point.
We believe
Yeah,
we did it
stupid
right.
companies.
We have attorneys that believed we did it right. And
How
so,
dare this small town try to
imagine Warner
prosper,
Brothers,
you know? Screw
Yeah.
up, we're Warner
small
Bros.
little town in rural
We're
Oklahoma.
We
emerging
need
now
our
with
2
Netflix.
cents that we're gonna make off of selling lamps.
Driving tourism and investment into downtown.
Saw them putting this leg
What they
lamp
should
up
have done is
decided,
made a deal
hey, this
with
is a
them.
gimmick. I want to get involved, so I bought several buildings downtown here and remodeled them because I think this is going to be a great tourist location.
So why is a leg lamp
The
in
Warner
Chickasha
Brothers are not
in the
alive
first place?
anymore. It's just
It pays
new
homage to a
corporations.
longtime
Yeah.
resident,
So-
the late
you
Nolan
know,
James.
He was
They're
not
not real. Yeah.
It's like,
He claimed in his
yeah,
obituary
they were at one time.
that he invented the prop.
Legend has it, the original one stood in his office.
It's all in fun, and we believe we did things the correct way, and our local businesses absolutely love it.
In Chickasha, Sydney
covered this
Batsloff,
already, kinda.
Oklahoma's News 4.
Yeah.
They were smart to get legal advice on
Yeah,
copyright
for sure.
laws before
They
put
did
it out.
everything by the
We
book,
reached out to
so
Warner
they
Brothers
can
for
throw the
comment.
book at Warner
We have
Bros.
not yet heard back.
Yeah, because they realized.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Record.